now to that rather hefty tax bill for the tech company Apple. Back taxes totaling, what, £11 billion levied by the European Commission today. And that money has to go back to the Irish government. Let's talk now to Daniel Mitchell, who's an economist at the US think tank, the Cato Institute. He specialises in tax reform and international tax competition. Hello to you. Thanks very much indeed for joining us. First of all, what do you make of what the European Commission has done today? Because it's essentially unilaterally decided that it's not going to, in this instance at any rate, sign up to a global agreement relating to Apple.
It's rather remarkable. The European Commission is not only trampling on the tax sovereignty of Ireland, it's doing it from the perspective that higher taxes are always good. It's rather ironic. The European Commission doesn't try to convince the southern European welfare states to cut spending, but it does try to persecute and harass countries with taxes that are lower than the bureaucrats think they should be.
Yeah, you say lower than the bureaucrats think they should be. In 1 year, they paid 0.001%. That's a joke, isn't it?
Well, it's definitely low, but that's an issue for Ireland and the Irish government to decide. And if other countries don't think that if they think there's something fishy about it, they should change their transfer pricing rules in terms of Apple's intra-company transactions between their countries and Ireland. That's what this is normally an issue about, what's called transfer pricing. It's not something for an international bureaucracy to try to decide.
Okay, what do you think the American government can do about this? I mean, they've made a statement, put out a statement today already sort of decrying this decision and making it clear that the Europeans have effectively decided that they're not going to take part in an international agreement to deal with this kind of issue. Is there any more that the Americans can do?
Well, I'm not exactly on the side of the U.S. government because international agreements like the OECD's BEPS initiative, base erosion and profit shifting, those things are designed to try to skim more money out of companies. I think the problem around the world is that governments are too big and they're taxing too much. And the U.S. is basically complaining, oh, if you take this money from Apple, maybe we won't get to take that money from Apple. I like the idea of there being tax competition between governments. I'm glad that Ireland has a competitive tax system, and I like the fact that that puts pressure on France and Germany and, for that matter, the U.S.
Yeah, but doesn't that lead to a journey to the bottom? If you're talking about the fact that there is a competitive tax arrangements for different countries, then you're going to get examples like Ireland, where they're charging 0.001% tax. Some money's got to pay for schools, education, roads. That's got to be paid by somebody, somewhere.
But the question is, how much government do you want? In a country like Switzerland, government consumes 33% of GDP. In France, it consumes 57% of GDP. Now, nobody can tell me that France has better schools and hospitals and roads than Switzerland. It's simply a question whether you're going to get economy and government. And I like the idea of a race to the bottom. I like the fact that gas stations and banks and supermarkets are competing for my business. And I think government should have the same attitude in terms of how they treat taxpayers.
All right. Okay. Dan, thanks for that. Dan Mitchell there, speaking to us from the United States, from the Cato Institute. Thank you.